Well, I wanted to get into this also, but when, as a client, when to let go of a stylist. That's something that, this, like I said, this isn't a bashing the client episode. Okay, that's something we don't do. We just like to be very upfront with our clients, and we tell them, oh, this is what I was gonna say. With, like, for example, we had a client come in a few weeks ago who refused a test strand. She refused it. And the stylist was like, I'm not doing your hair unless we do a test strand because your hair is extremely fragile. And she left pissed because she didn't want to do the test strand. And then she left us a horrible review saying that the person had God complex and didn't want to do their hair. And it's like, okay, well, you have to understand that our commitment is for you to have healthy hair. Okay, that's number one. Guys, welcome to Hair and There, our second episode. welcome. All right, so today we're going to touch on topics as business owners, salon, hairstylists. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about hairstylists that, can be difficult, when to leave them from a client's perspective, and then also difficult clients that, when a stylist should just say no. We're also going to talk about, I know this is like kind of doesn't really go together, but I also want to touch base on hair extension quality because I think that's super important. And I think that most people in America don't understand how extensions are made, where they're coming from, and the quality, which is super important when you're spending that much money on hair. All right, let's get started. Okay, so if you guys don't know me, my name's Leda Fazal. I own Tone Hair Salon in Raleigh, North Carolina. You can find me on Instagram and TikTok and YouTube, all Leda Fazal. Also on Instagram, Tone Hair Salon NC. This is Luz. Want to say what's up?
Hi, everybody. I'm the receptionist at Tone Hair Salon.
More than that.
Yes, very much. The heart of the salon.
Yes,
pretty much.
queen.
Yes.
She does everything from social media to making the calls and getting the calls and booking clients and
to going to buy plants for the salon.
I'll never let you live that down. And I'm Kaylin. I'm a stylist at Leda Salon. Kaylin. With a C. I'm a stylist there. I've been there for a little over a year almost, and I learned from everything I know from Leda, so.
Well, thank you. And this is like, I've been doing hair for over 20 years, and then perspective from a stylist that's been doing hair for a year. So I think it's good to see each perspective, and I never look at young stylists as they don't know anything, because Kaylin, even though she's only been with me for a year, she's more advanced than most stylists out there. I'm not gonna lie, it's facts, because she understands the business already.
Kaylin's word is chef's kiss.
Yes. All right, so let's talk about the first thing, social media, right? So if y'all are listening, this doesn't have to pertain to just hairstylists. It can really pertain to any business. And even as an individual, like, you don't have to have a full-on business, but maybe you do art, or maybe you, I don't know, make resin or
make
pottery or something. Anything. I mean, I feel like social media, any business, if you have a business, social media will be the biggest way to reach out to others.
Absolutely.
It's like the biggest thing that you can do.
And needed. And
yeah, it is.
I think that a lot of businesses, like, they try it out and then they stop because they're not getting like what they want instantly.
Yeah.
And it's not an instant gratification business. Like, you have to me, the best reference I can give you is a snowball. So you're building that snowball and it gets bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. But if you stop midway, it melts. And that's how it is with social media. So it's all in or all out.
You have to be consistent.
You have to be.
Yeah.
Like, consistency is key. You literally have to post every day, be engaged with the people that are engaging with your platform. Like, it's so much that goes into it, but it's so worth it because it brings so much business.
And I think one of the biggest things you have to let go of is your ego.
Yep.
That will get in the motherfucking way.
I'll say I'm guilty of that. Like, I was like, why am I posting if I'm getting one like, one follow a week? For me at first, like, I felt like I wasn't seeing what social media was doing for me. But when my client came in today, she said, I found you particular on Instagram. She said, I seen your boss's TikTok. She was like, but I found your page on Instagram.
She too much.
She's too much for me. She's gonna want to record me and shit. But no, like, that was the first time I was like, oh, you found me on Instagram? Like, it's working.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like also people are very like close-minded when it comes to social media, because when I first started working at the salon, like, I was like, oh my God, all this social media for what? Like, it's so much.
You sure
But
did.
it literally makes a difference. Like, it's what brings people into the salon doors.
Absolutely. Jet came up to me just Saturday. She came in early. She only had one client. She's the tattoo artist at our salon. And she was like, hey, do you need any help with anything? And I was like, nah, not really. Like, why don't you go upstairs? And that's where her suite is. And I said, why don't you make a post about your tattoos? And so she did that. And then literally 10 minutes later, she came downstairs. I was washing out my client, which is a rarity because I don't wash my client.
She's like, let's wash my client out.
Oh, I have a game plan. Like today when 𝗔𝗂 was like busy with her thing, and I was like, I'm not, my goal is to not wash my client. And so I'm like, Luz is there, and then back up Kaylin.
I didn't even know I was in the equation.
Oh, you're always in the equation.
Because you know I'll never say no.
Well, but I also will, give you a little extra.
I know.
But like, I appreciate you're not just a head washer, but still, I was like, how can I not wash my client is what goes on in my head at all times. It's so sad. But I mean, and I've been told I'm a great head washer, but I just
You've probably done it for
You've
so
washed
long.
plenty of heads in 20 years.
You've probably done it for
I don't
so
want
long,
to be
just like
washing
time.
heads after 20 years either. I want to have a little me to say, Kaylin, go wash my client.
but anyway, so Jet comes up to me while I'm washing my client, and she hugs me, and she's like, thank you. I was like, what did I do? She was like, I just booked 5 clients from that one post, one story.
I mean, you have to think about it. People are constantly on social media. Like, if you're constantly putting stuff out there, people are going to see it. Like, it's going to reach somebody.
The facts are, you only reach about 10% of your audience every time you post. So a lot of people I've seen, they're like, I don't want to annoy people. You're not annoying anybody because only 10% of your audience is actually seeing it, okay? The other thing is, if friends are annoyed with it, they're not your friends. If they're not supporting you, fuck them, okay? Fuck them. You need to do what's good for you. But what else was I going to say? I was going to say something else. Heard my train of thought.
You always lose your train of thought. You're mid-sentence. Oh, I forgot.
You started with Jet. Where were you going with? Was it something with that?
I think it's just posting regularly and not letting your ego get in the way. One of the biggest mistakes that I see hairstylists do, especially hairstylists, is in their bio, they say, not taking any more clients. And I'm like, oh my God.
I've seen that before. I've seen
terrible.
I've seen people post like even like lash tags. They'll be like not taking any more new clients. And I'm like,
do you know how stupid that is? Because that is like, you've literally imprinted that on somebody's head. Like this person will never come to you because you said you're not taking new clients. And the facts are at least 10% are going to leave you within the year. So if you don't constantly take new clients, you're literally fucking yourself. So that's one of the biggest things. I'm like, I don't understand why it's the ego. Let go of the ego. Even if you get one comment, who cares? Like, that's your audience. They took the time to make a comment. I appreciate every single comment.
Yeah.
Every single one. So like, even on my TikToks where like I have 2.5 million followers, I should have a ton of engagement, and I don't. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's a fight and it's a struggle every day on TikTok for me, because I don't have that engagement. I wish I did, but I don't. So if you're listening and you want to throw a comment, please, that helps me so much. And I'll comment back to anybody. Like, somebody says first, I'm like, hey girl, like, hey love. I will comment the fuck back, because
any
that's
engagement
important.
is good engagement.
Any engagement will get you going, and it creates in the algorithms more engagement. So
I'll say, I think a lot of people don't know that is how important it is, because I didn't know that and how important it was until you like reiterated to me like over and over again, Kaylin, it's not just what you post, it's about you commenting back and liking other people's stuff, commenting on other people's things that support you. And I didn't realize how important it was until I started doing it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like one of the main things that will really benefit you is finding a mentor that will teach you this stuff, because I wouldn't know that.
Or I mean, obviously listen to the podcast, or just post. Like, I think that's, everybody's so scared of making a video and failing that they're missing the point. Just put out something. Most people these days want the organic, you know, we see you trying, let's root for you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to be perfect. Don't worry about that. Every time I go, like, I eat a lot out and I eat a lot in restaurants and stuff. And the owners, you know, they see me filming and they see me doing stuff, and they find out, like, you know, what I'm about. And they're like, how can I do that? I'm like, just fucking post. Just do something. You can literally, like, I went to eat sushi the other night. I'm like, and I took a video of him making the sushi, and he cut this avocado and it was so pretty. And I was like, dude, you can fucking do that. Post that. Have one of your young employees that are freaking 16, 17 that know how to do social media, have them film you and just post it. Just be consistent. So, you know, it doesn't matter what business you're in. If you want to build something, you just have to just go for it.
One thing that's really helped me is the scheduled posts. I'm not going to lie. I rely on that now, because sometimes it's hard for everybody. Like, you do a lot of social media, so you find the time to do it every day. But for a normal person that doesn't do social media or isn't as savvy with it, it's a little harder. And I find that was my issue. I'm like, to find the time every day to sit down and think of a caption and hashtags and everything.
Captions are literally
the hardest.
Yeah, but with ChatGPT and all this other stuff, like, captions should be fairly easy.
I feel like sometimes ChatGPT is not.
It's like a computer's telling you, this is a color correction. How? she took her foil and placed it right over the hair.
You feel me? So like, I can use ChatGPT, but 9 times out of 10, I'm gonna have to tweak the shit anyways, because it sounds like a robot.
Facts.
I'm not gonna lie, the last couple of posts that I've made on the tone page were from my brain. Like, I haven't used chat in such a long time, because I mean, I'll take parts of it sometimes when I'm really struggling, but I'm like, let me just come up with something on top of my head, write it down, and just post it. Yeah. I mean, something's getting posted.
Yeah. And even if, you know what, if you struggle with captions, even just posting and just putting nothing is better than absolutely nothing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, if you're just having like, I don't fucking want to do this, I just want to post it. Post it. Just fucking post it. It don't matter. Because somebody's going to see it. And that's just the way the world works now. And over, 21 years ago when I started doing hair, we didn't have a social media option. I had to go out. I remember working for somebody. I didn't have any clients, and I had to come in and make zero money. And so I printed out fucking flyers and put it on cars. And I remember one time vividly that I put it on this windshield, and I was not very smart. I put it on the passenger side, and I actually saw this woman come out to her car, cuss the world out because she got in her car and then realized she had to get out of her car to go to the passenger side to get the fucking flyer out. And it had a picture of me hey, this is Leda. Like, I'm like, this woman probably like just cussed me the whole way home. That's all I had. Like, it took me hours to do that.
So how do you feel like, since you're so big on social media now, like how was it going from no social media to being so big on social media?
It's a fucking process. I mean, I started on Instagram and Facebook 10 years ago. And I would post something, and then I wouldn't, and then I would. And then, I went to, before hair school, I actually went to Peace College, which is now called William Peace University. I graduated with a communications degree, and I actually studied videography. So, like, it was always there. What I was going to do was I wanted to work at a news station. I wanted to be a reporter. I don't know. I knew I wanted to be on TV or behind the scenes editing. And then I was bartending, and I had a friend who was in hair school. And I was like, well, that sounds fucking cool. I want to go to hair school. Right after I graduated, I was like, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. I have my degree, But yeah, I've been doing hair ever since. And now I feel like my two worlds have collided, and I'm just doing more and more and more. But, at first it was slow, I didn't have that many people, and it was honestly, I didn't have that many followers, that likes, nothing. And then I went over to TikTok because I felt like TikTok was my vibe. Like, I was like, they get me. You know what I mean? I can produce these short little skit videos. I can do this. And one of my first posts, I gained like 10,000 followers. And I was like, fuck, I've never been able to do that on Instagram or Facebook. I mean, it was such a slow grow on Facebook and Instagram. And then TikTok was like, boom.
TikTok literally came out of nowhere.
It just takes one viral video on TikTok.
Yeah.
Yep. And
how did you feel though when like you saw all the followers?
I was like, finally. Finally I have something. Like, because it was still new. Like, I started TikTok in 2019. 18, 19.
It's been around for that long.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
Time is just
and who actually got me onto TikTok was Gary V. Solomon, you know who that is. Gary V was like, you need to get on TikTok. You need to get on TikTok. And I was listening to his podcast, and like, I was already like late in the game, like 6 months in or something. To me, at the point time, was kind of late. And then I actually posted maybe like 8 videos from December 2019. No, it must have been 18. December 2018. And then I posted about 8 videos till September of 2019 that I had 17 followers, and they were mostly Hayden's friends. That was it. I didn't believe in TikTok. I was like, fuck that. I don't know what the fuck this is. I'm just posting to post. And then one day I was in the salon, and me and a couple of the assistants, we created a video, and I gained 10,000 followers in a couple days. And I was like, wow, okay, we have something here, because I've never had that happen. That's never happened to me on any other platform. So let's go. And then I went all down, like all in. I went 5 to 10 videos every single day and just kept on creating.
Yeah, you're pretty consistent with the social media, and I think that's why people are like constantly engaging.
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, there's days, I mean, even like last night, I was like, I'm so fucking over this. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of it. I don't want to do it. And then the next day, it's like, let's make a video.
Yeah, you never fail.
I'm not even shitting you. There's so many times where I'm exhausted from it. But then it's like the next day, it's like a refresh. I'm like, that's good. Because I don't want to lose. I hate losing.
She comes in the salon. She's like,
I have a video
idea.
Yeah. She's like, Caitlin, what are you doing? You want to make a video?
Some days, we have to make at least 5 videos today. So come up with ideas.
I don't know how you come up with all the ideas. That's my issue. Is like, as far as TikTok, like on Instagram, obviously it's like my hair before and afters, hair reels. But like on TikTok, I feel like you have to do more than just that.
Well, I think the first part of doing anything is consuming. So you need to consume the content, and then how can I replicate this? And how can I add to this? How can I make it different? You know, what's relatable?
Yeah.
Like your Karen video today.
Yeah, I fucking thought that was video should fucking be at like a million views. It's at like 2,000.
It's because it was vertical now.
Yeah,
Landscape.
feel like I'm landscape hell, but anyway.
You and I both.
Well, now we're having to film in vertical and landscape.
She's like, hold one phone vertical and the other one landscape, and it's just like,
I'm not sure. You have to follow like I got a message from TikTok. Hey, make landscape videos. We're going to push them out. I'm like, fuck yeah, sign me up. I'll do it. I don't care because I don't get that kind of viewage. I don't get that fucking engagement. You know, so I feel like it's kind of cherry picked on TikTok, unfortunately. And for some reason, because I think I just kind of fucking tell the truth, TikTok's like, nope. Bless you, child.
it's always
sneeze on our podcast.
It's always the ones that tell the truth that they try to like
shut down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, today I posted 2 of the exact same videos, and they were both about fragrance-free products, clean beauty. One of them had hashtag fragrance-free and also clean beauty. The other video, same exact video, had no hashtags. 0. The video that has the hashtag fragrance free, I think just hit 10K. The video that had nothing about fragrance free or clean beauty is over 100,000. You tell me.
It's rigged.
Yeah. It's fucking rigged. Yeah, it fucking is.
They know what they're doing.
They know. Because TikTok's like huge on selling beauty products. They don't want people to know.
And then with the whole TikTok shop thing, they're definitely like, yeah.
So do you think it's more beneficial to put the hashtags or no?
See, it's not about it's because the hashtag was fragrance free. If it was hashtag hair or hashtag hairstylist, it would have been fine. But it's because I put hashtag fragrance free that they said, nope, shut it down. In my opinion, my personal opinion.
You're onto something.
Oh, I know. All right, what's the next thing?
I think you said you wanted to talk a little bit about like dealing with difficult clients.
Yeah, so I don't want this to be a client bashing podcast because it's not.
Nope.
But I do want to specify on, you know, when clients come into the salon and if the consultation's not going well, that it's okay to say no. You know what I mean? Or if their hair is just too fragile to do what they want, it's okay to say no. Do you have any personal experiences, Kaylin?
Well, I haven't had that experience yet. I thought, you know, at one point, like, I don't know if me and her will mesh. But then most of the time when I get my clients in the chair, if we had been talking over the phone and then when we finally do meet, most of the time they take my professional opinion.
Yeah.
And I haven't had to deal with that too much, but I've seen like other instances, like with Sam, for example.
I was just thinking about Sam.
When, you know, clients don't want to hear what the professional opinion is, and they just, all they know is what they want, and that's all they care about. So for me personally, I haven't had that experience yet, and I'm grateful that like all my clients, they're like, you're the one who went to school for this. Like, you tell me what is best, and I'll say what if I like it or not, and then from there we'll decide. But, you know, I don't think that if the client wants to have hair on their head, that there's nothing to fight about. Like, if I say her hair is too fragile, it's too fragile. And most of my clients understand that. So
I will say, like, at least for the people, I don't know, for the people that talk to the stylists that talk to their clients directly over the phone or however they communicate with them, I feel like sometimes there's times where, at least for me, when I answer the phone, the client can be a certain type of way on the phone, and then in person they're completely different.
Completely, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, sometimes they're not willing to listen, but then most of the time they are. I'm sure like everybody wants their hair to be healthy. So if they know it's going to compromise the health of their hair, they're not even going to try to, you know,
I will say like a lot of the clients that I feel like do that, like they're upset on the phone. It almost sounds like, but then when they get in person and that you talk to them and they feel how much you care and all of that, a lot of their frustration is generally from bad experiences.
Yes.
Yes. And
100%.
that's what I've noticed so far. Like, I'll tell them one thing, like maybe over the phone, and they're like, okay. But then when I get them in person and they start breaking down what they've been through, what they've dealt with at other salons, with other stylists, and I like kind of reassure them, like, well, my number one priority is for you to be happy. Like, I'm not going to send you out of here unhappy. Or if we get to the end and you're like, actually, I don't think I like this tone. My number one priority is to make sure you like it. So I'm going to say, do you want to fix it now? Do you want to come in tomorrow? Like, a lot of clients haven't experienced that. A lot of clients say, like, when I blow dry the front, for example, which I learned from you, like, to always blow dry the front of the hair first when you're doing a color, especially something that's, you know, a new client or a big color change. You're going to want to show them that before you blow dry the whole head. And I know personally, I've had my hair done before and nobody's ever done that to me. Like, they just blow dry my hair and they're like, all right, you're done. They don't say, like, how do you feel about the color? Is the tone right? Is the cut right? Like, I've never had anybody take that, you know, attention to detail with me personally. So I try and go above and beyond with my clients because I feel like that's where a lot of their issues are from. They're like scarred from bad experiences.
I think that a lot of like hairstylists are there just for the money and they're not, I mean, some are very thorough, but then there's the ones that are just like, okay, well, I'm just here for the money just to do the service and get them out of my chair. And that's where the fuck ups happen.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh God, I had so many thoughts in my head while you guys were talking. And I was like, I wanted to interrupt you all so bad. I was like, no, Leda, shut up. Let them talk. And then I'm like, what was I going to say?
Here she goes, losing her train of thought again.
Dang.
Second time. Second
I
time.
need a teleprompter. No, I just, fuck.
Bad experiences at other places leading to their insecurities.
I know, but I was going to say something else.
About the phone when the clients call.
Yes, but also, I wanted to get into this also, but when, as a client, when to let go of a stylist, that's something that, you know, this, like I said, this isn't a bashing the client episode. Okay. That's something we don't do. We just like to be very upfront with our clients and we tell them, you know, oh, this is what I was going to say with, like, for example, we had a client come in a few weeks ago who refused a test strand. She refused it. And the stylist was like, I'm not doing your hair unless we do a test strand because your hair is extremely fragile. And she left pissed because she didn't want to do the test strand. And then she left us a horrible review saying that the person had God complex and didn't want to do their hair. And it's like, okay, well, you know, you have to understand that our commitment is for you to have healthy hair. Okay. That's number one.
Number one.
So if you can't get what you want, like, we're very sorry, but we're not going to destroy your hair. And I would rather have a shit review like that than have a review of the stylist did my hair and fucked it up. I would much rather have a review of saying they have God complex. It's fine.
Then saying,
Whatever.
I got home and my hair was coming out, you know?
But again, to, you know, for the other side, sometimes I've gone to places where I go 2 to 3 times and I'm happy, but I'm not like fully happy, you know? And I think that's when you have to say, you know what, do I want to try somebody new or do I want to keep going to this person? I think you have to make that decision and be happy with who you're seeing. Like, you're never forced to see somebody, you know? And I feel like some people
feel
I
that
feel
way.
like some
They
people
do.
also, like, I mean, just from personal experience, I've gone to a nail salon and got my nails done and I didn't like how they looked, but I didn't say anything. And I feel like some people are scared to say
because
to say
and that's where the ego comes in, because a lot of stylists they're very egotistical and they won't either admit to it or ask you. Like, let's just say a stylist knows it's shit, right? They know they fucked up, they doesn't look good, and then they sit there and gaslight you, you know, and you don't say, or you don't say anything, or they gaslight you.
And they're like, oh my God, it looks so good.
Yeah, it looks so good. You know, ignore the bleed spot, you know what I mean? Or the back of your head looks jacked, but whatever. And that's where I think that's the difference between a great hairstylist and an okay stylist, right? So like for me, even in 21 years, if I fuck up, I'll fucking tell the client and I won't make them leave like until I get it right. Like you've seen me. I will stay to the fucking sun comes back up to make sure, because I can't be a loser. And I will feel like a loser and I will fucking think about it all fucking night.
Same. It eats me
If
up.
I don't fix it.
If I get you back to the chair and I blow dry you and I don't even think it's anywhere close to what we wanted, I'm not going to say, do you like the color? Are we good? I'm going to say, hey, love, I'm going to take you back to the bowl and retone you because it didn't give the results that I was looking for.
Yeah, or I've refoiled people. Like, I'm like,
I haven't had to do that yet, but then
I have.
That's some advanced stuff.
Or, I mean, even with extensions, like, I'm going to be honest, I've placed it wrong.
I remember.
And I'm like, nah, they ain't going to work. They ain't going to fly for me. I'm taking this out. You're going to sit. Do you have time?
Leda's like, do you have time today?
Do you have to be anywhere? No? Great. I'm taking this out and we're redoing this because it's not where I wanted it to be. But I expect perfection. And I think the client, for what they're paying, they deserve perfection as well.
Yeah.
You can't half-ass it when you're charging high prices. You just can't do it.
I agree.
All right. That kind of leads us to our next and last subject, hair extensions. All right. If you guys don't know, I created and patented the 𝗬𝒂𝒊𝒂𝒍𝒊𝒔𝒕 method. And it is a very unique, seamless extension method, easy to learn. I do have an online course on my website, 𝗃𝗏𝗏𝗏𝒠𝒏𝒠𝒠𝒏𝒠𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏𝒏 me. You get my personal cell phone number. You can call me, text me, video chat, whatever the fuck you want to do. I'm going to make sure that you ace this motherfucking shit, okay? Because I only expect perfection. And the way that I created this method, it's like no other. You're going to learn it quick and fast and seamlessly. And my students are learning so quickly, it fucking blows my mind, all right? But we're going to talk about hair extensions. I have it available on my website, but it's not a push. You don't have to buy my extensions. I'm not like the other extension methods where you're like, you have to buy my hair. No, you can buy my hair and understand that you're going to get the most quality shit in the world. Okay? Because I searched long and hard. I bought vendor lists that cost me thousands of dollars only to be fucked because I didn't have a communication. I didn't have a relationship with the vendor. And that's y'all don't understand. This is probably way past everybody's head, but you have to form a connection with your person that's selling the hair. And if you guys don't know this, all hair comes from India or China. Like that's where all the dark hair, like the long hair is. They don't typically color their hair. There's more people per what's the word? Per location? Than it is in the US, which I will get on this on another day. This is another podcast idea. Hair donations.
Oh my gosh. Let's not get you another day.
The rabbit hole goes deep. Okay. The hair donations, that if you go down that rabbit hole, it will fuck you up because I'm not going to say anymore. I'm not going to say anymore. Not on my second podcast. I can't do it. But I will talk about this because I think the fucking US needs to understand what's actually happening with your hair donations. It is not going where you think it is.
It's a whole rabbit hole.
It's a whole rabbit hole
it's a whole podcast in itself. That one topic.
But anyways, let's go back to all the hair comes from Asia or India. And yes, there's European hair. And that's, I don't know. I don't want to say any more about that, but I think it has something to do with the hair donations. But another subject. Anyways.
She can't help herself.
I know. Like,
she wants to talk about it so bad.
But we're going to talk about processed hair versus non-processed hair. So your shit hair is cheap. You're going to find it on Amazon. You're going to find it like all over the place, like popular websites. And the values, it's not going to cost much to buy it. That hair is the hair that is being swept up from the ground when they're cutting off what's called single donor hair from the client, right? Let's say they cut the hair pony off the head of hair. Anything that falls on the ground, or they collect it from brushes or from drains.
I've heard.
What they do, because the cuticle's not aligned, they take it into an acid wash. They remove the cuticle so that the cuticle, there is no cuticle. They don't have to worry about the alignment, which causes tangles. And then they put a silicone on top. And it looks pretty, but it only lasts about 3 months. You'll see. It'll fry off because there's no cuticle protection. So the real good hair, the expensive hair, is the single donor hair. Cuticles all aligned, cuticle intact. Those are verbiage that you want. And it's going to fucking cost you a pretty penny. That's all I got.
What about curly extensions? I know you told me I can't have them, but I just...
She's dying. She's literally dying for extensions.
I know. But the thing is, like with curly extensions, you have to find a single donor that has curly texture like you, or curly hair in general. And you're going to pay probably $10K for that hair, right? I'm not shitting you. If not more. If you buy curly kinky hair, it's going to be not only colored, permed. And it's just not a good combination, and it's not going to last very long. And especially if it's processed. So you can have it curly kinky, but then you can't have it colored. Or it's going to be dark.
Which, you know, I'm not having. So it just sucks. Like, I feel like there's a lot of false advertisement.
Yes.
Because I was like, I didn't know it was that hard. I'm thinking like, I'm gonna get some curly extensions. And then when Leda put me on, like, and told me how it really works, I'm like, $10K for some like really good hair. I see people with curly like weaves and stuff, and to think about it, like when you tell me this stuff, I'm like, you're right, it never lasts that long. It's not as quality as they're leading you to believe. And a lot of them are like human synthetic mixes and all types of stuff. So it's just crazy.
There's a documentary that I've asked you guys to watch like 5 million times. And actually, Hayden loves it. And he watches it probably like at least once every few months because it's just a good documentary. It's with Chris Rock. It's called Good Hair. And it goes through the entire hair weave, relaxing like situation. It's just you'll learn a lot. I learned a lot about extensions in that documentary.
I'm gonna have to watch it.
Yes.
You've been telling me to watch it for a year.
Another documentary which is great is what was it called? The fragrance free stuff. Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Good. Oh my god, what's the name of this stuff? It's on HBO. It's I talk about it all the time.
I'm not sure. You always tell me to watch Good Hair.
Good Hair, but then what's this called? Oh my god. I gotta look it up. I have to look it up because I talk about it all the time.
Our first moment of silence.
I know, right?
When she says it, we're gonna be like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I know.
I'm gonna be like, oh, what the fuck? Why did I know this? Fine, I can't find it. I'm not gonna sit here and look at this. But it's on HBO. It's like a 4-part documentary talking about the beauty industry and products and all that shit. Okay, last little surprise. Hold on.
What does Leda have up her
Not
sleeve?
so pretty. That's how Leda looks when she first gets her filler done.
I don't get filler. It's a lip flip. One, get that right. Lip flip. Okay. So, K18, if you want to sponsor me, that'd be awesome. But I am about to show you the gift that you sent me today.
Why she keeps putting those lips in?
What? Ours has pretty. I'm so shaky.
Not so pretty.
Literally.
Yeah.
Okay, put that away.
It looks, never mind.
Look
That's not
at
appropriate.
Fucking gummy that K18 sent me.
It's so mass. Oh my
That shit looks heavy as hell.
It is so heavy. And I thought we would end this podcast with a little bite and some ASMR. That's cute, honey.
Yo, it never fails for Leda to
pass
be
the
eating.
bear around.
The way she took that chunk out of his ear. Sounds like when you're stirring macaroni.
It's so heavy. No lie.
It's so fucking heavy.
Where am I gonna eat? I'm gonna bite its nose.
That's what I was thinking.
It's cherry. I hate cherries.
You hate everything. This bitch has never had a tater tot. Until a few months ago when I took her out to fucking Fat Daddy's and she was like, Fat Daddy's. And she was like, I was like, you want to order some tater tots? And she was like, I've never had a tater tot. I'm like, what the fuck? Where do you live?
It's actually not that bad. Maybe it's strawberry.
But why is it so good though?
It's not bad though.
Thank you, K18.
We
Yeah.
appreciate you, K18. Now we just need you to sponsor us.
And they even said to Leda. They
Aw,
personalized
how
this
cute.
bitch.
They did.
Yeah.
It says to our favorite hairstylist.
I'm not their favorite, but whatever.
That's something they did for everybody.
Yeah, I'm like, I see past that bitch. Okay. I see past it. But the name detail was pretty sweet.
Thank you, K18.
All right, guys. It's been real. It's been fun.
Yes.
And this is an ongoing thing. So once a week, expect a podcast from us because
Stay
we're going to keep it
tuned.
juicy.
Oh,
Keeping it juicy and real. I love y'all.
We're out.
love y'all.
Bye.
Bye.